Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another post-game podcast live stream, whatever this is, edition of the Missing Wolves. We're starting early tonight, so for people that are listening to this on Thursday, goodness gracious, will the jazz tones quiet down a little bit? It's not that we've lost hope. It's that the Wolves are down 37, and I think it's almost mathematically impossible for them to come back. But if they do, we'll strike all of this and start re-recording. But I'm Andrew Dukowitz. I'm joined by my ZoneCoverage colleagues and technically my boss, Tom Schreier.
It is very funny that, of all things, you just have no idea what my last name is.
It's going to be like a running inside joke forever that I have no clue how to pronounce your last name. And then Jonah Maves. How's it going, man?
I'm doing wonderful. I mean, not after this game, but I'm feeling. It's an opportunity to talk basketball. I'm here for it. Always.
I'll be honest. For me and Jonah, who are both covering the Lynx, been a long day. They pull off like the trade of a century, getting a pretty good prospect for a third-round pick. Then they release 3 players.
I stayed out,
and then Fee decides to light the internet on fire again. So it's been a long Lynx day.
Just to be clear, and we'll get to the Wolves, Napheesa Collier is upset with the players they released?
No, she did a NPR interview. And in that interview, she said that they need to crack down on like the physicality because like there should be more offense in the game, which immediately started a massive like brouhaha. And then later in the interview, the guy from NPR asked her a couple times, hey, how come the 1-year deal? And Fee just kind of non-answered it, said like, yeah, I'm focused on this season and getting back healthy. 3 separate times, in addition to me asking and Myron Metcalf asking. She has been ridiculously on message of not answering the question other than, I'm focused on getting healthy in this season, which that has gone over probably as well as if Ant answered a question that way.
Yeah, he's under a big contract. Let's remind people that he's got a big max deal.
Suppose we should get into the basketball game though. As it stands right now, 9:58 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 104-67 Spurs lead. Anthony Edwards with a game worse, -33. Jonah, I'll start off with you. How was your Anthony Edwards Wembanyama experience tonight?
Yeah, I mein, the second Ant missed a couple long jumpers in the start, I was concerned. I was heavily concerned. I mean, I can't act like I'm really surprised because even in the Denver series, it's not like Ant was really stout. And I mean, he had his moments, but I feel like there's still a lot of very heavily relying on the jumper. The jumper misses being ugly. Clearly not 100% in that series. So I'm like, we had the moments, and I thought they managed it really well in game 1 with the minutes load and giving him the quarter breaks, getting him to play the whole fourth quarter. But I think once that pressure ramped up today and they couldn't really get into anything. I mean, it helps to get into your half-court sets and not dribble in circles. And it's going to get ugly. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, when Ant shot 4 threes in the first quarter, I was we've all seen this before where Ant is just kind of not attacking as much, whether it was injury related or just, some of those looks were actually pretty good. Like I didn't have a lot of like, oh, those are terrible looks. But then he goes into the second quarter and has 2 turnovers, scores 5 points. And it's just kind of like, oh, he just doesn't have it tonight. In addition to getting double teamed the second he crossed half court every possession. Tom, what did you kind of see though from, let's just keep it with Ant? Like, what were your thoughts on Ant tonight?
Yeah, some of that, you go like early in his career, you'd say he's settling too much, right? And that was Chris Finch's whole thing, was just like attack the hoop. We saw it, I guess, late in the game. I felt like maybe he like loosened up or something in game 1 where I think it was Johnson. I'm trying to think of who was on him, and I thought he had him kind of trapped. And then that last burst or whatever on those bad knees, and getting close to that 25-minute mark, he still looked like Anthony Edwards. I think two things are working against him. A, like he's probably too hurt to play basketball, and like under any other circumstance, you'd be like, yeah, you don't want runners knee in one knee, and then like put all that pressure. I mean, obviously, Andrew, you would know this from like a medical standpoint. Yeah, because he clearly is like putting pressure on the hyperextension. I don't think it's the hyperextension is probably the result of something kind of fluky, just like how he landed on his foot or whatever. But like he is now putting a lot of pressure on that knee because of the pain in the right one, right? So like, yeah, like if this is a regular season game against the Spurs on a Thursday night, you wouldn't see this, obviously. But, given the circumstances, he wants to come back. He wants to make this happen. And then, the second aspect is I understand why they need to slow this down. If you just have a shootout, you're going to get the same result. Like, that's not how you're going to beat them. But it just felt like there is not a lot of space to work with. And unless you're like McDaniels, who plays that weird pinball game where he like bounces off three guys and somehow scores, Randall, who bully balls, maybe having like TSJ or Io, who if Io did not look super healthy, but a healthy Io attacked the rim. Outside of that, like even Anthony Edwards, I think it's just hard for him to score given how, there's so much density of players concentrated, in the half court with the way they're playing.
And to your point, like Ant did, he didn't play a ton in the third quarter, but he didn't shoot a three in the third quarter, which he was attacking a little bit more. At the same time, it's about 6 minutes into this game. I felt like I have felt during probably 30 Wolves games this season where it's just like, oh, they accomplished their mission. They won one game in San Antonio. This is the team that showed up tonight that can lose to Brooklyn or Atlanta or Phoenix or the Kings or any of these other weird losses. And that's not like an excuse for how they played, but like it just seemed from very early on like this was just kind of the bumbling Timberwolves team that is going to turn it over a ton and not be locked in. Jonah, did you get that vibe as well, though?
Like my initial thoughts with that was, what are we going to get out of Chris Finch in the post game? Because I know he talked about that amidst the Denver series. Like he literally said straight up, we know. Oh, you can see it in Finch's face every time he sits down. I love when the hot mic is on. Like, you can just hear a loud exhale. Yeah.
22 turnovers tonight. Keep cooking though, Jonah.
You can pick and choose your issues you want to talk about, whether it's dealing with ball pressure, turnovers, defense, but I wouldn't be surprised if he says the same sentiment he did during the Denver series where he was like, we know we can be better than this. This is something it isn't something that just the fans, they know that they play down kind of inconsistencies in the regular season. And that's what it looked like a lot tonight. The offense was so slow to start, but to see there wasn't a moment where they like sparked some energy or had like a little run and showed some signs of life. Like it was bad from the start and it continued to be bad and it never got better. It wasn't much hope in this game. It wasn't much burst.
Like, I think with Finch, that has to just be infuriating of just like, we literally beat Denver with our backups. And from the turnovers, you mentioned the on-ball pressure. That was not ideal. Also, just like the runouts after made baskets or like missed baskets, or there's that one play where like Wemby kind of juked Jaden and missed it right at the rim, and Jaden didn't even like lift his arms to try and rebound it. And Wemby just like grabs it and gets the putback, and it's just like, oh yeah, this team is it's just nowhere close. Which I guess if there's a good thing, this is probably one of those games where you can just burn the tape and try again. But like, Tom, what are you sitting at it?
So it's a weird comparison, but actually think back to Denver 2 years ago. It's because it's this team. Like part of me was like, yeah, I looked at the 10.5 point spread and I was like, they must not trust Io and Ant, right? Because normally if you had both guys back, you'd have a little bit closer spread. And obviously Vegas is typically right. And I was like, but if they pull off the upset, right? Obviously this game feels a lot different if San Antonio hits the three late in the first one because you're down, 0-2. But like, I go, what if you stole this in San Antonio? My first thought would be they'd lose the two in Minnesota. And it's just like the weirdness of this team. And like I said, this guy saying that like it broke the guy's brain. It broke everyone's brain. I think my solve here, my like kind of like the approach I'm taking is like we saw this. Now there's not obviously the rivalry between Denver and Minnesota. I just don't think there's a familiarity. I mean, I think you guys tell me. I don't know at what point in the season you actually thought like San Antonio could go on a run. Like forever, I thought they'd just be too young, and now I'm like, yeah, I think they actually go do it. So it's a team you have to take seriously, but it's not. You don't have the history right between these two teams. Having said that, like if I'm Finch, there's both kind of just like the kind of emotional intelligence side where he's like, guys, like it is the playoffs and you can't treat this like the games in like New Orleans, you know what I mean? In like November or whenever that was, like you have to take this seriously. But I think there's the other side of like, you know, he should take some culpability too. And I'm not putting this on Finch. I'm just saying any coach would do this wisely. Like, hey, evaluate. Okay, listen, I saw Wemby reach around Randall and I went, okay, so you probably can't just guard him with Randall as much as that would give you a little different, offensive aspect. But like, is Rudy just primarily there to shut down Wemby? And as soon as Wemby's out, you pull him and you like put in Terrence Shannon and hopefully a little bit healthier Io and guys who really pressure the rim, right? And kind of like force the issue that way, even if they're, they may be inclined to score in transition, which is not conducive to the way they want to play, right? They don't want to play fast. They want to play in transition. But like, is there a different thing you can do strategically? The other thing is really just honing in on like, what is Ant? What is Io? Kind of what can you get from these guys? And if you can't, do you really turn it over to like a Terrence Shannon? You know what I mean? Kind of treat it like these games where they were hyper injured against Denver. I know, Shannon's young and flawed and stuff, but like if he is giving you something, maybe you trust him a little more than kind of minutes restricted Ant and an Io who just didn't look like he had burst today.
Catching up on chat. First off, Steve, I also agree. Tom already acknowledged you, but the Wolves have broken my brain as well. I don't think anyone truly understands like them. Spaceman mentions, remember Golden State game 1 against Golden State last year. Yup. Same kind of thing where they just didn't look like they wanted to play basketball. Ethan asks when the last time I did a post-game live mid-game. It was Lynx season. Like this Wolves season's been so weird. I've almost like refused to do them, but I feel pretty safe at a 121-75 lead.
I'll be honest. Not only this, I called you, Andrew, and I said we're doing a post game, and then I called Jonah, and I was like, I like kind of made it sound like Jonah had the idea. Yeah, Jonah was like, yeah.
So you were like hitting this against.
No, I was like, get me in bed. This game sucks.
Fair brings up. Got to give it to the Spurs coaching staff. They had him well prepared, like they did. The Spurs were ready to play basketball.
Corliss Williamson insider trading.
Oh no,
it could have been a Corliss Williamson thing where he's just like, hey guys. They're not going to show up tonight. It's just going to be terrible. I mean, to your point though, Tom, even like Terrence Shannon, 4 of 12, not missed all of his threes, had 5 fouls and a turnover. Like even the guys that kind of give them juice had kind of nothing. Even like Mike Conley. I mean, me and Mike Conley, like I'll go to bat to that guy until he's like literally in a wheelchair playing basketball, but like he couldn't even really get these guys to like lock in and settle down. Jonah, I'll go back to you. Like, I guess this might be like an unfair question, but like, what is there even like an adjustment they need to make, or is it just as simple as like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is the playoffs now.
I mean, some of it just felt like that. Kind of push in the back of you're down these certain players, other guys need to step up, or there's the good side of it where other guys can step up. There's more energy. You're playing a different style of basketball. Guys are playing out of their roles. They're more hyper focused. And then there's the side where it's like this, where it's players aren't playing. They're playing into roles they're not supposed to. And rotations are all over the place. And I mean, this was the game they clearly looked like they missed Dante a lot.
Yeah.
They were able to get by last game, but I saw a lot of people say it on Twitter too. Like Dante's get actions with Rudy right now would be so nice with Cornet and Wemby just sitting at the free throw line. Like anything to get these guys out of drop coverage, anything to get the defense to react a little bit more. I just think it was predictable of offense, and when your dynamic guys can't do it, I mean, Nas's body, I don't know what to expect from Nas right now because his shoulder was injured after a full court shot last game. I mean, he's battered up.
So I could be wrong, but I don't think he can shoot above the break. Like, I think he's literally just shooting the corner threes because it's like closer to the basket. Yeah. So his shoulder's messed up. Like, he's clearly. Explain this action though, Jonah, because I think this is important. Like, they talk about DiVincenzo being the soul of the team, and Andrew, you wrote about this after the plus. But what are you missing with DiVincenzo in terms of like the strategy, and can you replicate it with anyone on this team?
I mean, Mike is probably the only other guy that can do the like shift to the side behind our Gobert screen and like hit a three. Ant can do that when he's healthy, but like he's getting doubled. Like, the benefit with Dante is he was always single covered. So like if Rudy just bodied somebody and they're playing drop, like Jonah said, it's a wide open three for one of the best
built-in movement. I mean, it reminds me a lot of when the years between Malik Beasley exiting and and all I could talk about, I wrote about it, I posted about it. Way too much talk about how having Chris Finch's offense, having one of these guys that can just be instant movement off floppy actions, pin downs, early offense, anything, handoffs, misdirection for other people, anything to draw the defensive attention away is going to be good. And it's like Ant might be their guy for that, but any pin down Ant's running off right now is to get open, to get the ball.
Yeah.
He's not going to be going full sprint off a pin down. And who else is your next best shooting option? Like it gets grim quick.
Doing that stuff.
It gets grim.
Good enough that shooter. Last thing, real quick, Tom, just before like you go, like the other thing they're just missing with Dante is like this is a game where, you know, Harper gets a couple of those drives and then Dante would just switch on him and shut down a pick and roll. Or one of those like Ant threes that missed, Dante would go in for an offensive rebound. And even if he didn't get it, he'd like smack his face off the ground and everyone would be like energized. They don't really have that either, which is, it's just tough. Like you lose a starter and now they got to kind of figure it out. But what were you going to say, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at the extremes on the roster here. Part of me goes like, you need Conley when it's close because you organize the offense. I think you just trust him more. But if you're getting down, I think you know where I'm going with this. If you're getting down, I think you just have to play Bones. Like you either like kind of, I mean, he's a wild card, right? You either kind of make up the deficit, right, because of his scoring, or you just, right, it's the crater. Like I think you're playing him if the game's on that close to the fringe, right, where you're like, well, you can't just keep like you can't bleed, points. You have to kind of do something to jolt it. I don't trust. I understand the concern with Bones. I just think like he is the break glass in case of emergency. He could kind of salvage you. He could also just completely terminate the game. The other thing is I wish Clark could hit like a corner three regularly in the floater because
do anything on offense.
Yeah. I think, again, you know where I'm going with this. It'd be nice to just snuff out one guy. Just be like, yeah, he can't score. Let's have these four guys try to beat us. And I think you could do that defensively with Clark on certain players, obviously. But the problem is, like, this is the same thing with Rudy. Like, Rudy was great against Jokic, and obviously he was brought in to play against that Denver team. He can do something against Wemby, although Wemby sometimes just faces him up. It's crazy his handle that he can like dribble right in front of him. But I think it's more like his offense is so limited. In that first game, it looked like he was trying to hand the ball to somebody, and like literally the Spurs just kept everyone away from him. And he's literally like, holding it out, like trying to give it to somebody. And then today, I don't know if he was just off. I mean, the putbacks would have helped early in the game. It would not have mattered now, but if he's not scoring and kind of giving you the offense, I think you just have to take the risk with Nas and Julius, like kind of doing something against Wemby, right? Playing physically against him and assuming they're scoring because like it's kind of the same thought I have with Bones. At some point you got to get scoring from someone because you have 85 points right now and there's 2.5 minutes left in this basketball game.
It's the thing with Rudy tonight that was just like TJ tried to find him a couple times, I want to say, on a lob, and it was just like 6 feet too high.
He found him, but Rudy chucked it back to him.
There was one where he found him and Rudy just threw it right back to him over the rim. And then there was one on like a fast break, I want to say, where he lobbed it up to Rudy and it was like 3 feet too tall for a 7-foot Rudy Gobert, which like that's how you're going to have to, even against like a drop. Like if you get Wemby kind of stuck in that mid-range area, like picking up on Ant or TJ, like that lob is there. It's just like if Rudy can't catch the lob or if they aren't like used to throwing him the lob, it's just that's useless. And to your Clark point, like he's been really bad for like pretty much the second half of the year, which is weird because like what he did so good in the first half of the year was like he could get to the free throw line, but now he's almost like gun shy to like drive, which it's just kind of like the wheels has come off his season. But I mean, Jonah, you're more into like the X's and O's side of it. Like, how do you keep Rudy on the floor when you're scoring 85 points in a basketball game in the year of 2026?
I mean, I think it's touches more on what you guys said. Like, I think they manage Rudy really well for when his offense is bad. I think it's just the other pieces. Like, it's either the volatility of the guys, like I said, like Nas, like Ayo, like TJ. These guys can be good, but they're not going to be guys you can rely on regular season, let alone in the playoffs. Like when they're getting scaled up into these roles, and then you just have your guys like Jalen Clark, Kyle Anderson, where the offense isn't going to do anything. I mean, Jalen Clark is, I don't know what his fit is. I mean,
he'd have to be the ninth man, right? Like a wing stopper who gives you some offense, like something. Yeah.
Situational defender and like 2 minutes if a guy's in foul trouble. And like you said, like Bones is the clear guy you press the button for, but Bones was really bad last game. I mean, even in the Denver series, he had moments where he was really good, but the volatility is just unbelievable with him and a lot of the other guys.
I'll never forget before the season, someone on the Denver beat messaged me and was just like, Bones Highland has main character syndrome. Do with that what you will, essentially. And like he does. Like Bones thinks he's the main character of the Timberwolves story when it's like, no, you're kind of more of like a Neville at this point. If we're going Harry Potter lingo, like you're showing up maybe once every couple chapters, but it's more of like a spark plug. Let's get some lulls type of thing. And like, it's tough that they're to the point when they're depending on him. Real quick, I just want to read this out here. Rudy Gobert defensive rating when he was on the floor tonight for the Wolves, it was 109.2. So like not bad, playoff defense. That's solid. Rudy Gobert off the court, 147.6 defensive rating. Like you can't
133
40 points. On the flip side though, offensive rating with Rudy Gobert off the floor, 111.9. Again, like that's fine. Offensive rating with Rudy Gobert on the floor, 73.8. That would be historically the worst offense in the history of basketball if it carried out for a season.
We're up to the first percentile on cleaning the glass right now in points per possession. We're up from 0 from where it was at half and the third quarter. So
I mean,
like I just don't know what you do. Like your defense is literally awful with Rudy off the floor, but with Rudy on the floor, your offense is historically awful. So it's just like, what do you do?
So first I'm reading a body language thing as they exit the court here. Anthony Edwards looks like Anthony Edwards, right? He does for an injured guy. He's like, I love that he congratulates Beringer in part because I just love Beringer, but like, he's upbeat. He does not look defeated. I think they feed off this. He's certainly McDaniels does, because McDaniels goes, I guess if Edwards can say anything, I can say anything too. But like, I think this is not defeating in the sense that at least they don't believe that this is over based on kind of what happened in game 2. That's not super surprising. I think the problem is this is going to be kind of a Finch masterclass if this works, because I think he's going to have to fine tune a lot of different things. How much can you actually get out of Ant, actually get out of Io? How much do you use Gobert and in which situations? Can you overcome the Shannon flaws? Because I think Shannon actually plays like most normal people do. Like Io set this weird standard where he just, I think, Andrew, I told you this. I was like, oh, he can just like pass to Gobert. Like, how did, and you say, like, Jonah, you and him must be like lead the world in how much like hours watched of film, because Io either discovered that on film or just has natural touch on the ball. I think most people are like Shannon, who kind of is like, I don't know what to do. Like, you kind of just throw it at him, right? You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to have some flaws.
D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell was the worst, like objectively horrible at passing.
I mean, that's honestly what Io said though. When he got traded here, I remember like after his first or second game, I asked Rudy about it. I was like, are you kind of surprised that Io can just like pass you the ball? And Rudy was like,
and he said after the Denver series too, they text about all the time about how they can attack offenses and stuff. And I mean, there's been some really good quotes between Io and Rudy about each other's games,
which is also just like not the pairing of guys that I would expect to like hang out together. You know what I mean? Like Rudy Gobert into crystal healing, darkness retreats, potentially started COVID. And then Io is like a very religious mental health journals regularly from Chicago. The other one's from like France. Like, it's just not the buddy cop that I would have expected, but like, I'm very happy for it. I'm going to throw us over to a break here quick, because we're going a little long on that. But when we come back, we'll, I don't know, probably talk Wemby, because this was arguably the best Wemby game we probably saw this series yet. I mean, there's been 2 games. I'm still talking because it is not letting me bring up my ad reads. So maybe we'll just put that in post, and everyone here in the live stream doesn't have to listen to ad reads.
I mean, I think the thing, there is a way out of this. It just, for a 1-1 series that you stole a game, right? You stole home court when you won the first one. It just feels like it feels like you're in like the Earth's molten core, and you're like, yeah, we have like a kid shovel. And so you have to figure out how to do this. You know what I mean? Like, it is. And again, I'm not trying to put too much on Finch, who I think handles people really, like, manages people well. It just, any coach in this situation just is handed the weirdest deck of cards. Like, it is, hey, your best player, both his knees don't work. You know what I mean? Like, this guy that you traded for, who I think may have salvaged the Dillingham. That was kind of the one blunder Tim Connolly's had. Like, that guy clearly doesn't have burst. Like, Terrence Shannon Jr. is kind of, has some serious flaws that anyone from San Antonio is going to be able to point out, right? And show the other team, or show their
Jonah
team.
With the mastermind of nonverbals. Head nod for left hand, head shake for right hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, I mean, it's crazy how he literally cannot use his right hand, like, even to do a layup. Like, Mike Conley, 38 and like limited in weight.
Fournette got him on one.
I mean, it is not impossible. In fact, like someone was saying, like, you can win this on defense. I think the other thing is you're just gonna have to lean into like stupid basketball. What I mean by that is, like, just let Jaden McDaniels do weird stuff, because he can kind of score in ways that other guys can't. And like, he may be able to manufacture scoring in the half court even against a good defense. Because, like, I don't know how you predict what Jaden McDaniels is going to do. He is literally a human wild card. Like, the way he plays basketball, what he says after a game, just generally kind of how he goes about his life, I think. And like, you got lean into bully ball. Like, it's so funny that like Julius Randle plays basketball like he does in like the year 2026, but bring this back to 1980 and just like have him bully guys up and down the court and try to score that way. And with Edwards, like I said, it's just like, you're going to have to know what he can do, because I actually think Edwards would thrive in a series like this, fully healthy, given he can kind of play in different ways. He can shoot a little bit, but also he just kind of can drive at the basket and find a little window, right, to score and stuff. He's going to be limited in that, and it's unfortunately can't tap into it. And I just think they're going to have to be creative. You have to have that Denver mentality of like, hey, DiVincenzo's out, Ant's out. How do we make this work? Even if literally physically Io and Ant are on the court.
I mean, Jaden the Jaden point, I agree with 100%. Like they don't have anyone on the Spurs that can guard him. Like Keldon Johnson's too slow, too small. Their guards are just not. I mean, Jaden's like 7 feet tall. Like people laugh at me when I try and explain it. Of like, Jaden's like Rudy's height. It's insane. Like he's built like Kevin Durant. They just don't have anyone to guard him. And if the Spurs are having to put like Wemby on Jaden and like have Wemby kind of follow him, like I don't know what that does. The issue with Jaden is again tonight, like he gets in foul trouble and he's just 2 minutes into the second quarter, just gone. I mean, I think Jaden is probably the lever to pull that makes the most sense. I just don't know how you keep him out of foul trouble when he's just getting these really dumb fouls. I mean, what do you think, Jonah?
I mean, I'm in the same realm of you need the randomness of Jaden, but I talked about it in game 1. Like Jaden's short mid-range jumpers are perfect offense for getting, I mean, pretty much a shot at the rim for Jaden at this point. He's so good at that like 8 to 10 footer. Getting him more reps downhill. He had, I mean, I clipped it in the third quarter. He had this one where he was battling with Dylan Harper up the entire sideline, got a switch onto Wemby, went all the way into the corner, did like 3 body fakes and still got the bucket. And there was like 4 or 5 makes in the game 1 too, where he was able to get to his spots, recognize the backside defender, get a couple flybys, and get some like genuine open looks. It's just when he picked up that third, I believe, I don't know, whatever foul that sent him to the bench in the second quarter tonight, the wheels fell off. The second that happened, the wheels fell off. So,
which
that's,
I mean, it's
simple as that.
It's crazy that Jaden is. I mean, I would argue he's the most important person in this series. I mean, I felt that way kind of coming into it. One of the Spurs show I did, I was kind of talking to them about it too, of like, you guys just don't understand. Like he's 7 feet tall and can shoot like mid-range shots. And he's just weird. Like if he can just get you 20, it probably feels a lot better. I mean, that being said, like Jaden had a okay game. I think he 12 points, 6 of 10 shooting, but he just, you said it, Jonah, when he got in foul trouble, it was just a different game. I do want to close with this one. Farah asks, not this one, it is this one. How do we feel about the roster?
Are melting down.
What's that?
Some of these commenters are really melting down. Like I love the one guy was kind of repeating what I was saying, where he's like, hey, this could be like 2 years ago, where like, you know, they obviously we don't know because San Antonio's new and we've seen Denver quite a bit, but I was saying some of these guys are melting down. That's like Chernobyl, like in the, in the comments.
I mean, we are Wolves fans are they're a diehard bunch, but they sail with the winds.
I mean, the hard thing, so I don't know if the odds are exactly the same in hockey, but like, you know, there's some, or as hockey, I should say, but there's some truth that every game matters a ton. Like you took home court in the first one. Like if you get down 0-2, I think you have like a 1 in 8 chance historically of getting out of that. You know, what I will remind people is because you took home court, you have to, in a 2-2 series, win the 5th game because you have an 80% chance historically of making it. So like, again, you don't have a lot of hope coming back to Minnesota other than you're like, they did take the first one. They have handled swings before. Again, this is why I'm reading the body language a little bit of the players. Like I understand Anthony Edwards, like literally could be like drowning in the middle of the ocean and be like, I'm fine. Like I'll swim up to the top. Like, why are you worried about that?
You're drowning in the ocean. He's like, have you seen Jaden McDaniel?
Olympian swimmer.
Great. Olympian swimmer.
Yeah, Jane, are you worried about it? And you just talk trash about like the sharks, you know, swimming around him or whatever. But I think listen, there is, as much as this team's frustrating, like this is a 49 win team that probably should have won like 57 games. Like the one upside to them is like, I don't think this is going to bother them. And I think, you know, that's kind of the emotional side of it. Like the intellectual side is like, literally you just have to get to 3-2, right? However that ends up happening, you have these 2 games here. You know, I think, so I guess in terms of the meltdown, like A, this was a weird Scott Foster game. B, like they had just won and they maybe let off the gas. I think the other thing is like these coaches are going to be, there's a chess match between the coaches here because in part Finch just has to know his guys really, really well. Like I said, everything about them, where they're at, like physically, emotionally, how they mix together on the court. And then obviously with San Antonio, like they're going to try to exert as much leverage as they can because they're the best team, right? They're the better team, I should say. Like they have Wembanyama. They're healthier. Like they can shoot the lights out. If you try to get in a track meet, they're going to run you off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the best thing you did is I think if you take away, and I know we're literally minutes from this game ending, but like if you just take away the scores and you just look at it, you go, it's 1-1 and you have 2 games here and you need to get to 3-2. And I think if you look at it that way, like they are in the driver's seat, even if they don't fully deserve to be. And the thing is, as long as Ant somehow progresses a little bit and Io gives you a little bit more, and you know what I mean? And this is managed correctly, even, you know, look at minutes for Rudy and like Terrence Shannon, like what you do with him, like there is, you know, it's a little bit like you're kind of jimming a lock, but there is a way to get the lock open, right? It's just a matter of like, do you kind of know what's going on inside there, even if you can't fully see what's going on? So this is a little bit like it's a heist if you get away with this, but this always was going to be a heist given the injuries of the. Sorry, I mixed like 100 metaphors there, but like it was always going to be a heist.
It came back around. There was lock picking. There was heist.
Yeah.
It all came
what
back.
What I'm trying to get at is like,
I'm just curious who's doing what role at this point.
Sorry. I just like you are the 6th seed, right? And like, and the Spurs are favored, and you are not healthy, and these are kind of the state of play for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And yet, like the reason why you believe in them is because literally, like historically, this team, especially last year, has just kind of like goofed around throughout the regular season, done things no team should do in terms of like not taking certain things seriously, talk trash about specific players on the Denver Nuggets, and pulled this off
the entire game. Like down 40, they are still talking constantly.
I will remind people it is 11:35. So if we got from lock picks to like a giant heist and
no, I just want
yeah. I mean, I knew someone was going to say this. Yeah,
remake. Appreciate you, ghosts. No, I mean, I would say this game. I'm not really worried about the score of it. Like, I think the Wolves went into San Antonio with the mindset of we need to take one, and then they took the first one, and this was like up there with the most predictable Wolves losses of the season. Of like, this is rivaling like when a star player on the opposing team is out type of like predictable loss. Like, of course they're going to come out flat and just be the Wolves team we've seen all season, because they still are that team. I think my hope wouldn't lie that like Finch is going to be pissed like after this game. Like I guarantee you his press conference is going to be very raspy. And I mean, the other thing is like this team does know how to respond. For some reason, they just figure out how to weasel out of these kind of situations. And the Spurs I still think there's something to having to have gone deep in the playoffs to like actually win a title or advance. And maybe that's they get past the Wolves and then they end up getting kind of trounced by Oklahoma City. But like, I don't know. There's just something to it. Like this Wolves team knows how to battle back from this stuff. I think Target Center is going to be rocking on Friday and on Sunday. And at the end of the day, like if they're leaving Target Center and it's 2-2, like I think they still feel like they're in the driver's seat, but they're going to have a really good chance to leave it 3-1. Jonah, any last thoughts before we get out of here though?
Just the psychological side of like who's up in series stuff. It always drives me nuts for some reason. Cause it's like, should the Wolves, yeah, you got one on the road, but shouldn't you be taking a playoff game seriously? Shouldn't you not want to give the other team momentum so you could potentially lose one yourself when you go back home? Like it's great that they got one, but now the Spurs just had a great win, got it back together, and now the pressure's on the Wolves to deliver back at home. Like it's all fun and games until you got to get right back to where you were in the first place. So We'll see. I don't know what I can't. I'm having struggles deciphering and getting expectations going into games in these series. I'm just kind of turning it on and seeing what happens, but that's all you can do.
Jonah, you're doing the responsible thing. I'm going to be
no. Here's the problem. This is what the entire Timberwolves team is doing. It's like tip the ball and we'll just see what happens. God knows. I do love how this kid said he was looking downtown. I don't know if that's like a warning. He's like, look out for him or whatever. But I think that is cool. No, I just like lurking is just a very funny. This is me being an editor, but lurking is just a very funny word to use in that sentence. But no, I do think it's a matter of like, this is the magic of Anthony Edwards is that I don't think he thinks there's pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like I go back to that, like Nikhil, and I know Nikhil's gone, but like Nikhil said that he's like, I don't think he even like conceptualizes what pressure is. And I understand like under normal circumstances, you lost this game, like all of a sudden, hey, San Antonio comes and takes 2 and the series is over. I think Edwards just like, listen, this is a guy who like everyone thought the Lakers would win and he was talking trash to like literally the entire populace of Los Angeles, California. Right. And like, you know, he just like, and it rubs off on these guys. I mean, listen, Jaden McDaniels probably shouldn't call out guys on name by name on the Spurs, but I don't think he's worried about Castle. Right? You know what I mean? Like, I think there's just and I think the biggest thing for McDaniels, and I think this is actually true for Shannon too, is that they've seen it happen, right? Like McDaniels, you can go to Jaden McDaniels now and be like, hey, listen, like play fundamental defense. Obviously don't make dumb mistakes because the foul troubles puts the Wolves in a bind. But you can tell them
-6 tonight too.
He was only what?
He was only a -6 in 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, so I think the thing with McDaniels, you go, we need you offensively.
He's so good at basketball. Like it's just, I know that's like a boring take, but like, God, he's just good at everything.
No, he is such a, and I always say this because like, in college, I played pickup with Seattle guys, but this is how they play. Like they grow up playing in a park. Like there's nothing fundamental. His defense is fundamental, but like his offense, you're like, dude, you're like leaning left and like the basket's over there. And like you're shooting from a weird spot on the court. Yeah. But dude, this is the kind of
dribbling the ball up to his chest. Like everything.
He at least has a handle now.
Oh, when he's skipping up the floor, he's locked and loaded.
Yeah, but he at least
every time
his handle. I mean, still, and he feels like he played basketball in jeans, but like he at least he's driven like a little bit lower and stuff like that. Point is, like you can.
It's come a long ways.
You need the weirdest players. I'm serious about this. Like the weirdest players to show up, which is like Julius Randle, who again I think plays basketball like it's 1985. Like it is the weirdest way to play basketball in like the bully ball stuff. But play bully ball because honestly, you just have to score somehow. McDaniel's like. I don't care if you're now shooting like in no man's land with like your left hand, like if it works, go ahead. You know, some of these two, like with Gobert, like some of the putbacks will make a difference. I mean, I think if you keep this game tight, right, you can kind of manage through it. But it's cool that now with McDaniels, I guess my point is that you can go to him and be like, we need you to do offense. He goes, yeah, that's part of my job now. And I think with Shannon, same thing. It's like, hey, if we have guys hurt and you have to carry us momentarily, he goes, yeah, I've done this in a playoff game. And I do think that really, really matters.
Now, that being said, I will put a caveat on my I'm not worried. If they have 20 plus turnovers again, they're going to lose every single one of those games. Like you don't win playoff games with 20 turnovers. And some of them were just awful, like awful turnovers that like made me literally, I think it took minutes off my life. I'm going to die a little earlier now because of them. Jonah, Tom, anything else you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
Dude, it's going to be fun. Like I will say this, like I've been to Denver for some of these games. It was louder in Minnesota for that series. Like, again, I wasn't in San Antonio, but I just think there is like a mania like with the Timberwolves, and I think it's maybe just people kind of can see how this team would win a championship and how crazy that would be like in the state of Minnesota. And I think like for a young team like San Antonio coming off a win like this, like listen, they're not the Timberwolves, they're human. Like they may think like, hey, we've kind of seized this and kind of obviously even things out after losing the first game. Like I just think ride that momentum early, because if you take that, game 3, the split's going to make your life hard. You have to then go into San Antonio and take it. But like you ride that. And I just thought they did that against Denver really well. And I think just nothing about this will make sense if the Timberwolves pull this off. And yet, like, this is the perfect team because literally nothing about this team makes sense. So I guess belief comes in the fact that, like, they've done it before a little bit and that the Timberwolves just kind of can pull something like this off because somehow they're like the one team in the NBA that can rise to the Western Conference Finals as a 6th seed.
They're just so weird. Jonah, anything else you got?
I'm just thinking about what I'm gonna do tomorrow because I'm probably not watching this film back. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I'll be honest.
No film review for me tomorrow.
I try to watch every game.
Burn the tape.
Watch Baron J. Baron J's the future. He played some minutes here.
You're just.
I love Baron J.
I'll watch some jingles.
I love it. Listen, I love all the French stuff. I could say gamage, which I learned from Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, a French video game. I could say that Gobert gamaged.
All right, we're going to Expedition 33 French video games.
Hey, there's a lot of presence in this series. Wembanyama, where is he from? Gobert, where is he from? Baron
Julie
J.
Phillips Muse.
Yeah,
Julian Phillips Muse. Shout out to that guy. He's great.
Ingles had
not from France.
Did you see this? Ingles had Ingles is not French, but he's very Australian. But like, do you see Ingles had a 3?
Run Joe Ingles off pin downs.
Yeah, somebody. I think it was Steve said that they ran Joe Ingles off a pin down and he hit a 3 right as Jonah was talking about it.
No, it's. I mean, so listen. This is just the Wolves are ridiculous. Like, just as a concept, like you would think that a team that they kept together would be like highly professional and like beat, whatever, like take game 2 seriously in a play. Listen, the one upside to them is literally, again, you can kind of read the body language of these guys. They're not worried about this.
Nope.
If you take game 3 in Minnesota, you're still kind of in the driver's seat. It really is just like if you get down in that 2-1 hole, they might actually feel some pressure knowing you got to then have 4 if you're going to take 5. And
they're just so weird. For anyone that joined into this late, does get posted up on YouTube and on X as soon as I end the stream. We'll be out as a podcast tomorrow morning. Oh, we're ending before midnight, boys. It'll be out at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you need something to listen to, though, I did do a kind of bonus pod that's over on the Missing Links and Missing Wolves feed with the CEO of Noah Basketball. They do.
It's great.
That's who has all of the fancy high-tech scoreboards, basketballs. Turns out they use facial recognition to see where shots are coming from. Really, like, honestly interesting interview. And I'm not even just saying that because like it benefits me if you watch it. Like legitimately, it's just interesting to see how far like basketball tech has come. But anyways, that's all I had. We'll be back on when's the next game? Friday. Kyle Teige's joining me after the game live from Target Center. He has said that he is going to try not to be intoxicated. So we might have a sober Kyle.
He'll be drunk. I promise. I'll hand him beers. Serious.